Hello, it's Diane McNaughton here. Welcome to my watercolor painting channel. In this video, I'm going to give you a couple of hints that might make your life just a little bit easier. I'm going to deal with the buckling of watercolor paper. Now, a lot of painters decide to stretch their paper, and how you do this is you submerge the paper in water for about 5 minutes and then place it on a board and then paste it down with gummed paper, and it becomes tight like a board. But I find that it actually disturbs some of the sizing on the paper. The sizing is a top layer and it's made of starch. And if you remove some of the sizing, I find the watercolor paper can become a little bit more like blotting paper. I like my paint to sit on the top. So of course I end up with a lot of buckling. Let me show you here. So of course my watercolor paper really buckles. So I've done a painting of my husband with his lockdown hair, and I would now like to frame it. But as you can see, it really needs to be flattened. To flatten your painting, you need to find a place that you can leave undisturbed for 48 hours. So I've got the top of my bookcase here that I can leave my painting, and I have a board, one of these boards here, and a nice clean piece of cartridge paper to protect my painting. And I take my painting, turn it upside down, face down. As you can see, it's rather buckled, and I've got a sponge and some water. So I get my sponge in the water and I'm going to wet the back of my painting all over. Give it a good soaking with the sponge. That's it. And you can actually just take off some of the excess moisture with a piece of roller towel. Then I take another piece of cartridge paper, just lie it on top of the painting, and then a board on top of that. It's all nice and flat. And then I have my heavy books. There we go. To weight it down. Like that. And you can pile a whole lot of books on top to cause pressure, and this pressure will flatten your painting nicely. It's 48 hours later, and as you can see, I've added a few more books to put on the pressure, and now let's have a look and see if our painting is nice and flat. So let me take the books away. They're really heavy. Board off. There we go. And as you can see, most of those buckles have gone. It looks pretty flat, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to be able to use that in a frame. Next useful hint relates to the size of your paintings. Now you take your piece of watercolor paper, and they come in all different sizes, and you paint your painting, and you do something really lovely, and you decide, I'd really like to frame this painting. But if it's an awkward size, it's going to cost you quite a bit of money. I kept doing this. I kept painting these paintings in all different sizes, and taking them to the framer, it can be quite expensive. So I've decided to paint my paintings in regular sizes. And I have a whole lot of little boards, cardboard boards, like this. This one is 8 by 10 inch. This one is 10 by 12, and here is 10 by 14 inch. Now you take your little board, cardboard board, and you put it on your watercolor paper, and you just simply draw around it, and you have your good shape. It is so much easier to find frames online, really cost-effective frames, if you have regular shaped paintings. So I have bought quite a few frames online, especially the smaller ones, for my urban sketching exhibitions, and it really is, you just pay a few pounds for them. Of course, for the bigger paintings, I had this problem with my all different sizes, so my framer has made me these lovely frames, and on the back they've got clips, can you see, so I can take a painting in and out again. I often find that I have a painting up for a while, and then I get fed up with it and I want to use the frame again. And so if I've got the regular size paintings, I can just mix and match my paintings. But as you can see here, that painting is that size, and this painting is this size. No, it's this size. That size. There we go. So I can just mix and match the frames, which is really great.